Hey friends, welcome to day 56 of 90 in the 90-day video challenge brought to you by Broken to Beautifully Blended, stepping into 2020 on the right foot.
It just rolls off your tongue.
Well, it has become a little bit long. When I try to do all of it at once, it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, guess what?
Are you going to say Jaden's home?
Jaden came home. She surprised us all by arriving 24 hours early.
Yeah.
And so, what a pleasant surprise it was to get home this evening, and Jaden was here.
Well, she wasn't really here. She was at my office, but yeah.
You know, they wouldn't have known that if you wouldn't have just said that.
Well, she was at my office because as we were at my office for our grand opening party, I got a notification on my watch that said Jaden arrived home. And I ran back to where my phone was. I was like, what? What's going on? And I looked and I was like, sure enough, Jaden's home. So I said, come to the office.
Okay. Very good. You had your grand opening today for the
We did.
Metro First office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
How'd
we've
that
been
go?
there for a couple of months, but this was our grand opening. It was good. We had a lot of people, friends, clients, just neighbors come by. So
Showing off the new digs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. You also had quite a cold front blow in tonight.
yeah, really blow in. I mean, it's like any leaves that are left in the tree will be down by the morning.
And they're all going to be in our yard. I came home, and we have a fence that runs along part of a sidewalk, and it's up next to a building that's outside. So I went out, got the leaf blower, and it's literally blowing like 40 miles an hour. Leaves going everywhere, but I went and got the blower, and I was trying to blow them back down so they'd go around the fence and out into the yard and on down the way. Kids were all like, what are you doing? Why are you using the leaf blower in the middle of a windstorm? I said, well, sometimes you got to do the things that need to be done so that the leaves blow to somebody else's house.
Because that's the kind of neighbor we are.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to go out to a leaf pile in the morning that's chest deep.
Yeah, and that has happened.
Yeah.
So
Anyway. So that was our adventures this evening, but it sure was exciting for Jaden to come home and surprise us by getting here early.
Yeah.
So today is also day 20, halfway through the 40-day prayer challenge, the Go, Set, Ready.
Yeah. You were doing math before we started this, and you were like, 7 times 8 is 56. Yeah, we're at 8 weeks, and we're halfway through the prayer challenge.
Yeah.
We're really making some strides towards our 90 days.
Well, it's going to be over before you know it.
It will be.
So, craziness. So, Go, Set, Ready. Why is that out of order?
Well, because we want everything to be ready, and then we want to take time to set it up and it to be perfect, and then go.
Well, it's sort of like these videos. Set it up and get ready to shoot.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't, it would look like we did on Sunday when I was all in my glasses and my hair messy.
That one was awesome.
Yeah.
You were just like, here you go.
Hebrews 11:8. He, Abraham, did not know where he was going. And the first sentence, whenever you get into today's reading, is, you'll never be ready. And there's a lot of truth in that statement. And it's funny because you can talk about a lot of different things. And, you know, he mentions getting married. You're never really ready to get married. Now, you think you are. And you think you've got it all figured out. And you think, I'm going to marry this person, and we know each other, and it's going to be awesome. But, excuse me, I promise you, you don't know that person.
You know the representative.
Yeah. So, you'll never be ready.
It's not until you have a full-on conversation whenever they're asleep in the morning, but you swore they were awake.
Yeah, well, we can dig that up if you want to. You'll never be ready to have kids. You'll never be ready to start a business or go back to school or move to the mission field. You'll never be ready financially, emotionally, or spiritually. You'll never have enough faith, enough cash, or enough courage. And if you're looking for an excuse, you will always find one. So, what's he getting at? That's a pretty sort of a down way to start today's reading.
You think that's a down way to start?
Well, if you're in that boat and you're thinking about maybe starting something or doing something, I mean, it's sort of a downer. I mean, you're never going to be ready, he says.
It doesn't seem that way to me, because whenever I'm there, I'm like, okay, let's just get in motion. Let's do this. Because it's never going to be anything if I don't get going.
Yeah, and they've said in different times that starting, even with a half-baked plan, is better than not starting at all.
Well, God says, do not despise small beginnings. And it's a small beginning whenever you're just like, okay, we're going to go, and I don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's that act of getting in motion.
That's right. Let's see. He talks about all of that, but the verse for today was Hebrews 11:8. This is in the Hall of Fame of faith, so to speak, in the Bible. Hebrews chapter 11, talking about Abraham, and Abraham obeyed and left and went to where God had called him, even though he didn't know where that was. He didn't say, well, now wait a minute, God, I got to get my affairs in order. I need to sell my land, and I need to, make sure the car's got the right set of tires on it, and, all that kind of stuff. He just packed up and he went to where God showed him to go.
Yep.
There's the old adage, what we're used to hearing is ready, set, go.
Yep.
He says he knows it's predicated on the importance of preparation, but he says he thinks it's backwards. So you'll never be ready. You'll never be set. Sometimes you need to go for it. The sequence of faith is this: go, set, ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you just now reading it or what?
No, I was looking for one specific part. Okay, this was the part that I liked as we're talking about it. Our failure to act on what we know God is calling us to do. It does not breed just doubt or discouragement. It's a form of disobedience. And I think about that. We keep waiting to feel like we're ready. We keep waiting for, what does this look like? And God's waiting on us to take that step. And so you get stuck in that area of feeling like you're in the valley and nothing is changing and you're not making traction and the world's going on around you and all your friends are getting married, all your friends are having babies, all your friends are doing this, but you're not. And you're like, okay, you're discouraged and you're disillusioned with the way that you think things should be. And you're being disobedient because God told you do this or do that. And I believe wholeheartedly, if you get to that point and you realize that you're in that point, you can ask God again to give you, what was the step that I missed? What did I not do? What's the last thing that you told me to do? I believe that he'll reveal it to you again. Mm-hmm. It's like our kids. We have one kid that has ADHD with inattention, which means that doesn't focus very well, and we'll ask, what's the last thing I asked you to do? Nope, that wasn't it. What is it? And then we'll get the answer, yes, do that, and then come back. And I think God's like that.
Mm-hmm. God's probably more patient than I am.
Oh, yeah. We'd be smited.
He gives a story in here about Dr. George Wood. He has a painting in his office of an African man standing on a high hillside overlooking the ocean. That's what happens when I try to read too far ahead. My words get sort of jumbled together, and you get overside. So, In the painting, the story is that there was newly crowned missionaries around the turn of the 20th century. Mm-hmm. That God had called them to go to Africa as missionaries, but they had no idea where they were supposed to go. So they bought tickets, they got on a ship, and they started to sail for Africa. At the same time, a young man in Africa had never heard of God, had never heard of Jesus, and yet was considered to be the most religious of the people in his little village. He felt like he had heard someone say to him, go to this beach at this particular point. And so he did. Well, the funny thing is as the people were going by on the boat, unaware of where they needed to go in Africa, this young man runs to the coast, and those people felt, hey, God's telling us to get off the ship. Get off the ship right now. And so they told the captain, hey, we need to get off this ship. And the captain said, well, you're nuts. And so they said, no, we got to get off the ship. And so the captain says, okay. So he stops the ship. He doesn't take it to shore. There's no place for them to go to shore. So they stop the ship. They put these people and all their stuff in a canoe and say, see you later. And they paddle to the shore. They run into the young man, not speaking his language, but they sort of worked it out, and he invited them back to the village. They learned the language over time, and that became their mission field. So what a story.
Well, and they've started hundreds of churches since then, or that one church has started hundreds of churches in Africa. And I will say, I don't know if there wasn't a place for them to pull in or not, but the people that were on the steamship said, we're not letting you off here because they're cannibals and you don't need to get off here. So it wasn't just, no, don't get off. It was, they're going to eat you. And they still said, God told us to get off the boat. And they went with them.
So the faithfulness of following the promptings, even though it doesn't make sense, and even though I'm sure that they weren't ready to get off of the ship, led to a revival, so to speak, in that part of the world. If they had just said, there's no place to stop, or, oh, you know what, you're right, maybe those people will eat us, so we're just going to stay on the boat, then that opportunity would have been missed. And so being open, and as we're learning and going through this season right now of being available, we learn that that's where God calls us to be, is available. Mm-hmm. So that was the last part of the reading for today, I think.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, those people's last name was Perkins.
Yep.
So, I'm sure God could have intervened another way, speaking of the African village, and I would like to think he would have, but who can calculate the opportunity costs when we ignore the promptings of the Spirit, thereby missing divine appointments? Faith is not faith until it is acted on.
I like that too. Faith is not faith until it is acted on.
It stuck with me this morning when I read this the first time and then was doing my journaling. And, how many times do we say we have faith, but we don't necessarily act on it? It's like this chair or stool thing that I'm sitting on. I have faith that it'll hold me up, but I don't exercise that faith until I put my weight on it.
Yep.
So the thought for today is, if you are looking for excuses, you will always find one. So
that is an understatement. If you're looking for excuses, you'll find them. Well, but you'll also find that your friends will give you excuses and they'll call you crazy. And so it's not just finding excuses. It's everything that goes with it.
And expanding on that a bit, no matter what, you're going to always find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for excuses, you're going to find one. If you're looking for opportunity, you're going to find one. If you're looking to be available, you will be. If you're looking for a reason not to start, you'll find one. So whatever you're looking for, I promise you, you will find.
Yep.
So, tomorrow, day 21, set your foot.
Yep.
Set your foot. Is that like the hokey pokey?
Right foot in, right foot out.
You set your right foot in, you
Maybe.
set your right foot out. You set your right foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. So we'll see what that is tomorrow. Set your foot. So the next couple of days will be interesting. We're going to be headed out to families tomorrow. So our video tomorrow night will be a little bit different, and that it won't be with our, different backgrounds we've been using. Which I don't know.
Nanas.
I don't know if you guys like those or not. It's been kind of fun. And so last night was the picture that I took last night of the sunset. It was gorgeous. And we've had some different pictures from around the country that we've used. So I don't know. I think
Pictures
it's sort
that
of
we've
cool.
taken as we've adventured.
Yeah. So, all right. It's day 25, right? Is that the date?
26.
Oh, it's the 26th. I'm getting behind. What are you thankful for today?
I'm thankful that DBU let the kids out of chapel tomorrow so that they could come home a little bit early.
I'm thankful for DBU in general. I'm pleased that Jaden is there. So I think that she's doing well and learning quite a bit, and not just in class, but outside of class as well. So I am thankful. Let's see. I'm thankful for the little surprises. So coming home today to find her here was a pleasant surprise, and it was good. It was good for my heart for her to be here early.
Then we went to dinner at Mexico Joe's, and Reagan is working. And whenever we walked in, she didn't immediately see Jaden. Whenever she saw Jaden, she was like, "Oh, I want to hug you so bad." She was working, though. And then finally Jaden goes, "You can hug me at work."
Yep. So, anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, day 57. And
57 Chevy.
ooh, 57 Chevy. That's a good car. So, anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow, day 57. Have a good night.